Welcome to Manifest IS, and you are watching current news. These are the crispest current affairs that you can get. And as part of this, we are into environmental series now. Earlier we have covered reports, indices, meetings and conferences, and also the schemes and programs in the environment section. And also we have seen some current affairs with respect to forests. Now we are into biodiversity. So in this biodiversity, we have different parts. The first part will be dealing with the natural World Heritage Sites in India. As you can see, there are 7 natural World Heritage Sites in India. If you want to take count of the mixed World Heritage Site, that is both natural and cultural, there is one, that is Khangchendzonga National Park. So as part of this Natural World Heritage Sites series, you will be seeing all the 7 heritage sites, namely Kaziranga, Sundarbans, Great Himalayan National Park, Manas Wildlife Sanctuary, Keoladeo National Park, Nanda, Devi, and Western Ghats. And finally, we will be seeing the Khangchendzonga National Park too. And as we have said, there are few features of this program. That is, we are giving you the timestamp. So if you go to particular timestamp, you can go to particular topic. So choosingly you can use that timestamp. Secondly, we will be providing the PPTs of these videos so that you can read them along with the videos and revise them well. And finally, we will be attaching 2 questions in every video or at the end of every video. So for all these features, you have to look into the comment section. So at the end of the chunk, we'll be taking up those questions and we'll be discussing the answers of those questions. So let us begin today's video one by one.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
First, we have to see the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, natural. So as we have seen, 7 plus 1 mixed we have. What all are the criteria or what all are the important facts associated with the UNESCO World Heritage Sites we have to see. Firstly, this comes under the convention called World Heritage Convention 1972. Around 1972, many things have happened, especially with respect to environmental conservation and also conservation of biodiversity. So 1972 is a watershed year in terms of the environmental conservation. Next thing, there are definitely few criteria to select one site as a natural World Heritage Site. So first one, it has to have an outstanding universal value. So under this universal value, maybe with respect to the biodiversity count or with respect to the ecosystem services that it provides, and also with respect to the other commercial purpose that this particular biodiversity attributes to. So that is also considered, and especially there are 4 criteria given. Under that, this particular site has to satisfy at least one criterion. So those criteria are nothing but the exceptional natural beauty and aesthetic importance. So as far as the natural beauty, its flora, fauna, and also with respect to the tourism attraction it has, so that has to be excellent. Then the other criterion is the significant geomorphic or the physiographic features. So there has to be some features, very unique features with respect to geomorphology and also the physiography of that particular place. And ongoing ecological and biological processes, especially when it comes to ecological and biological processes, we talk in terms of the succession, we talk in terms of the interaction between the biotic components of the ecosystem, and also their growth or their sustenance in that particular site. And finally, the criterion is about the natural habitats that particular site has. So there have to be more number of natural sites or the natural habitats in that particular area. So among these 4 criteria, even if it satisfies one, so that is going to be considered as a World Heritage Site, along with one more important thing, that is the outstanding universal value that it provides. So let us go to these sites one by one. Firstly, we will be looking at the Kaziranga Wildlife Sanctuary. So it is situated in Assam. and it is on the floodplains of River Brahmaputra. River Brahmaputra, yes, it takes birth in Himalayan region, and then it flows to Arunachal Pradesh, then Assam, then finally it enters Bangladesh, and it drains into Bay of Bengal. So it is on the floodplains of that river, and it has important dense grasslands, forests, streams and lakes. So streams, yes, they are in very good number, and even the lakes formation have been very significant in this area, and there are few biomes with respect to dense grasslands and also with respect to forests. Then there are important rivers, like 4 important rivers are there. So one is Brahmaputra, as we have seen, and Dhansi is other major river, and other 2 important rivers are Mora Diflu and Diflu. These are the 4 rivers that we need to remember, because we have seen the questions with respect to the rivers that are flowing through the national parks or the heritage sites or through the tiger reserves. So we have to know about these 4 rivers. Then as far as the geography of that region, or with respect to the different features of that region is concerned, we can see some of the sandbars. This is the riverine sandbars, and there are lakes, that is the riverine flood formed lakes. These are kind of oxbow lakes, not exactly in that shape, but the process, it is through the flowing of the river water. And also these are known as beels. So the beels, so in northeast India especially, these lakes are called as beels. And also we have some elevated regions called chaporis. So please try to remember these names, especially beels and chaporis, because whatever that is associated with the northeastern part of India, especially with respect to environment and conservation of environment, we have to remember these important and the unique things. The next one is the fact that this project was initiated by Lord Curzon. Lord Curzon, you all know, that was just before the partition of Bengal, and after the partition of Bengal, he was very significant as far as the affairs of British in India is concerned. Then, with respect to vegetation, if you want to talk, so it has a variety of vegetations around. So especially the elephant grass. Elephant grass, it is kind of a bigger grass in size, and with respect to the leaf size, what we have, and we have marshland, and there are dense tropical moist broadleaf forests. So if you look at the Assam region, so it is giving lot of varieties of forests, right from the tropical trees even to the other subtropical temperate trees we can see in Assam region. So many times we have seen the questions with respect to vegetations in the northeast region or in these biodiversity hotspots or maybe the natural heritage sites. Then it has grasslands which are alluvial. So inundated grasslands we have, alluvial, that is the soil which inundates these grasslands, that is like the soil deposition is there around these grasslands, and also savanna woodlands. So savanna, yes, if we look into the world geography, we come across the savanna lands and savanna woodlands. That is the feature of the trees what we have in the savanna or the grassland what we have around this Kaziranga sanctuary. Then there is a mixture of moist deciduous forest and the tropical semi-evergreen. So as we have seen, tropical semi-evergreen that is found especially near Western Ghats, and if you look at the deciduous forest, it has a large expansion in India. So we can see the confluence of both type of forests here. One is with respect to latitude, that is the deciduous one, and with respect to the rainfall in that region, we can see the semi-evergreen forest here. So it is a very beautiful spot as far as the aesthetic beauty is concerned and with respect to the geomorphology is concerned. Then if you look at the species around here, so there are many species here, especially the one-horned rhinoceros. As part of the conservation plans, we have discussed about this. We see these one-horned rhinoceros, especially in other countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, and also Nepal and Bhutan. And in India, we have one-horned rhinoceros to the population of two-third. That is, world's two-third population is there in India, and it is one of the endangered species in India. As far as the tigers are concerned, we have the highest density in the world, that is 1 per 5 square kilometer. Though the number is small, the density is too high in this particular sanctuary. Then wild water buffalo, we can see around or more than 50% of the world wild water buffaloes in this particular region. And collectively, few animals are called as the big five of Kaziranga. In that, importantly, one-horned rhinoceros, Bengal tiger, Asian elephant, wild water buffalo, and the swamp deer. So as far as the swamp deer is concerned, again it becomes very important for us, because the questions have come on this particular swamp deer as far as the other ecosystems are concerned. Then other important species what we find in India, that is the Hulak gibbon. Even this can be asked as a part of question. So it is the only ape found in India, so that is Hulak gibbon. And we have seen questions with respect to Hulak gibbon earlier in the preliminary examination. And there are 15 endangered faunal species, that is the animal species what we have in Kaziranga. Then other mammals, just you need to note these down, just to rule out or to eliminate from the question. So please note these down, especially the type of langur, tiger, and the leopard, and also the gangetic dolphin. So we need to note them down. Then if we come to the avian fauna, that is the birds population is concerned, it is home to the Bengal florican. Bengal florican, yes, it is very important species, and BirdLife International recognized it as an important bird area. So that is very important, because the question on BirdLife International have come in the examination again and again. So we need to know its recognition too. And also we have around 478 bird species in this particular area. So as far as the biodiversity is concerned, it is very important to know about these things. And importantly, we have the birds like kingfisher, then heron, then also the tern. So please try to remember these species, especially blitz kingfisher, then heron, and also the tern. And one can understand the Siberian tern it is. Then there are few migratory birds here, especially the black-necked stork, Asian open-bill, and the greater adjusted stork. Just remember stork, just to eliminate or just to rule out in the questions. So please try to remember few of these marked birds. The next important site is Sundarbans National Park, that is there in West Bengal, and it is on the Ganga's deltas, and it is the largest delta in the world what we have, that is the Ganga's delta. And this forest cover, especially the mangrove forest cover, it is to the tunes of 10,000 square kilometers, and it is spread across India and Bangladesh. So mangrove forests are the main features of this particular site. And in Sundarban we have a mud flats estuaries. So though we find most of the deltas on the eastern coast of India, but this is a very important phenomenon that we need to know, that is there are some estuaries and that are made near the mud flats. And also the deltaic islands are there, deltaic islands. For example, we have Sagar Island. So here we can see very low velocity of river and also the low velocity tidal currents. And this is the largest estuarine mangrove forest that we have, and these are the Sundari trees, after which the Sundarbans is named. Sundari trees, these are the salt resistant trees and which have a high economic and the medicinal value too. So Sundari trees, it is good to know about them, their features, that is physiological features and their adaptations as far as the salt water resistance is concerned. One has to know about this, and it is one of the Ramsar sites, one out of 37 Ramsar sites. And in 2019, just before the 10 Ramsar sites were appended in June 2019, so before that, somewhere in the first half of the 2019, we got Sundarbans designated as one of the Ramsar site in India. And it is part of MAB network also, that is the Man and Biosphere Reserve network. So one has to be very thorough about the knowledge about Sundarbans as far as the World Heritage Site is concerned, Ramsar site is concerned, and Man and Biosphere Reserve network site is concerned. Then with respect to the species what we have here, so especially the Bengal tiger we need to note down, and Gangetic dolphin we need to note down, spotted deer, sorry. Then the other important things are the fishing cats. Then we need to know about the flying fox, then chital. Then the other things is the olive ridley turtles. So please note them down, and definitely we are going to deal with the species which are there in the news since last 2 years, and we will be covering up in the next video. So please note them down and also do some research along with the current affairs part what we cover with respect to these species. Then the avian fauna, what we find here, mainly the Siberian ducks we find here, and that too during the migratory season. And as far as the vegetation is concerned, Sundarbans mangrove forest, Sundari trees are the main species there. Then the mangrove scrub also, this is not exactly the trees but the mangrove scrub what we see up to the little altitude from the ground or from the water in that particular area, and the littoral forest. So this is not to do with the mangrove what we have littoral, it is with respect to the coastal ecosystems or the coastal tree species what we have in that particular region. Next important site is the Manas Wildlife Sanctuary, and you can see Kaziranga is one, Manas is one, they are almost contiguous with each other, but we consider them as a different sites because of the biodiversity that they have, and there are clear demarcations as far as the geomorphology is concerned and also the physiography of that region is concerned. And as we have to see about this Manas Wildlife Sanctuary, so it is on the foothills of Bhutan Himalayas. So even if you can see the Assam Himalayas, what we read as part of the division of Himalayas, so either Bhutan Himalayas or Assam Himalayas, and from Sankosh River in the west to the Dhansiri River in the east. Please note down these rivers because these rivers are very important, and Dhansiri is already asked in the examination, so one has to note down these rivers. So from west to east, from Sankosh rivers to Dhansiri River, this is extended. And as far as the landscape is concerned, we can see a very important phenomena, that is the merging of the Terai grasslands. Terai, it is the upper part of the Gangetic plains what we have, Terai region. Then we have the Bhabar. Bhabar is the older alluvial soil what we have, and the grasslands on that soil. So we can see a kind of merging or the confluence of these Terai grasslands and the Bhabar grasslands. So one has to know about these ecosystems too. Then semi-evergreen forest we can find there because of the rainfall, because of the weather factor. We can see the semi-evergreen forest, and we can also see the Bhutan Himalayas. So they provide a very diverse habitats for the avian or the animal species there. Then it is contiguous with the Royal Manas National Park in Bhutan. So as we have seen with respect to the tiger estimation, even the Bhutan has helped us in terms of the tiger estimation in India, because we see a lot of home ranges of these tigers in both the countries, across the countries. So Royal Manas National Park is contiguous to this particular wildlife sanctuary, and the Manas River, after which this particular wildlife sanctuary is named, so it flows across the river, especially it flows from north to south. Then with respect to vegetation, we have forested hills. Yes, it is one feature. Then alluvial grasslands in the foothills. Then also the tropical evergreen forests we can see in this particular region. So there are three different types of vegetation: forested hills, then the alluvial grassland, especially the babur, then the tropical evergreen forest we can see. And we can also see the sub-Himalayan alluvial semi-evergreen forest that is covering the 50% of this particular region. Then with respect to the Himalayan, that is East Himalayan mixed moist and dry deciduous forest. So as we can see, the vegetation, it is right from the grasslands to the semi-evergreen forest and also the deciduous forest we can find here. That is why this area becomes biodiversically important, and also it is considered as a very important natural heritage site. Then we have a savanna woodland too. So basically we need to remember, from the grassland to the tropical evergreen forest, semi-evergreen forest, we have everything here. So that is what we need to understand. And as far as the species are concerned, in the grassland biomes, we have very important species which are the threatened species. They are pygmy horn and the Indian rhinoceros, what we have, and they were extinct in the year up to the year 2007. Only after 2007, after reinstating of few of the species there, we can see the viable population there right now, and also the wild Asian buffalo. So these are the three species that we need to note down. Then the other important species, those are the forest biome species. So especially a capped langur, wild pig, hornbill, then the Jane squirrel. Jane squirrel is very important as far as the animal of the northeastern India is concerned. So one has to study about that. And also the Chinese pangolin. This year pangolin was there in news because of the COVID-19. So Chinese pangolin or the pangolin found in India, they have to be studied. The other important things are the bird species what we have. There are nearly 380 bird species there, and to note them down, there are many. So Bengal florican, great hornbill, and the Jordan's babbler. These are the important things what we have to know. So if you want, you can see some of the pictures by searching them, and also note down few of the important features of those particular avian species. Then the next one is the Great Himalayan National Park that is situated in Himachal Pradesh. This is one of the important World Heritage site what we have, and it is around the Kulu region. It is located near the Kulu region. Kulu region is like very close to the birthplaces of many rivers, especially the left bank tributaries of Indus River. So Kulu region is very important as far as the Indian drainage system is concerned, or with respect to the natural beauty is concerned, and with respect to the biodiversity that it has. So one has to know about the Kulu region. And this particular park gets water from two particular phenomena. One is from the snow melt region, or the melting of snow will feed the rivers, and also the glacial water melt. So these two are different. Snow melt is different and the glacial water melt is different. So they feed the many of Himalayan rivers, especially the Indus River Valley system. Then with respect to the some of the important features, we have coniferous forest there, and we have snowy peaks. So the elevation is somewhere to the tunes of 4,000 meter, or to be precise, the average elevation range is 4,100 and 100 meter, and we have one of the finest and the pristine glaciers of the world in these particular regions, and it is part of Himalayan biodiversity hotspot. Then with respect to the realms, what we have, realms with respect to the regions, that is before the formation of the Himalayas, what we have. So we have the convergence of Oriental and the Palearctic regions. So these are the important realms what we have, which get converged there at this particular region. And the important species of this region is there are nearly 375 animal species what we have. To note them down, so important things are the snow leopard and the brown bear and Himalayan Thar and also the musk deer. Please note them down. They are the important species. They can come as questions in the examination. Then the vegetations right from subtropical to the alpine. So many times the questions have come on such particular sites, subtropical, then even the temperate, then even the alpine vegetation we can find in this particular region. And if you come across the plant species, there are hundreds of more than 100 plant species, and as far as the medicinal value of these plants are, the herbs is concerned, it is very important. So Himalaya is home for many medicinal plants of the herbs what we have. Then with respect to the other important alpine or the subtropical or the temperate species what we have, the important one to note is that the other oak and the pine and the chestnut. So these are the important plant species what we have, and we can see some of the alpine meadows also, what is known as the grasslands. So we have different tribes here, or the different communities who are called as the shepherds there. So they depend upon these particular meadows. And as far as the other important site is concerned, so the next site is Nanda Devi Valley of Flowers National Park. So this is situated in Uttarakhand, and it is very close, or this particular site, it includes even the Nanda Devi peak, and the elevation of Nanda Devi is 7,816 meter. And it stretches up to 8 kilometers in length and 2 kilometers in width. So it is along that range what we have, and it is famous mainly for the variety of flowers it has. So it has kind of a bedsheet or the plane to the visibility of the human beings. We can see the flowers in these particular valleys, and it is part of the MAB also, that is the network of MAB reserves or the man and biosphere reserves. And as far as the species are concerned, very important species are snow leopard, Asian black bear and brown bear, and musk deer, and Himalayan Thar, and the red giant flying squirrel. This particular squirrel, we can see it in the northeastern part and also the Himalayan region too. Then as far as the vegetation is concerned, the important species are Ramani, alpine, and also we can see some of the mosses and lichens because of the elevation what we have and the humidity what we have on those altitudes. And there are nearly 312 floral species what we have, and out of them 17 species are very rare in nature. And the other important flowers what we have, which we cannot see in the subcontinent region, so especially the orchids and the poppies there, and now we can see the marigold throughout India, and other important are the primulas and the daisies what we have, but very important are orchids, marigold and the poppies. Then we can see the trees like birchwood and the rhododendron trees we can find. These are the subalpine species what we have there, and nearly 520 species of higher plants are there in this region, and of these 498 are the flowering plants. The next important site is the Keoladeo National Park, which is there in the state of Rajasthan, and it is also known as the Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, and it is believed to be the man-made wetland around that particular region. Then it is hotspot for the ornithologists, that is as per the view of the Salim Ali or his research tells that it is hotspot of ornithologists. Then it is designated as a Ramsar site in 1981, and if you look at the vegetation there, so it is a semi-arid biotype what we have, and the vegetation what we find here, it is known as Ghana, or it is a thicket of some of the shrubs and the trees, so that is known as Ghana. And it is having the many species or the different ecosystems. What we have here are the dry grasslands and some of the woodlands and swamps, and also the wetlands what we have. So it is a confluence of this arid, semi-arid and some of the temperate features what we have in this particular area. Then the vegetation, if you want to see, we can see both tropical and the tropical deciduous, that is dry deciduous, intermixed with the dry grassland. It is a confluence of grasslands and the deciduous forest what we have. And in this park we can see the freshwater swamp also, and sometimes this particular region gets flooded, and in the dry season or in the summer season we can see the complete drying of these particular swamps too. Then the other important things about this is the species what we have here. There are different species, few are very endemic to this particular region, and the species what we have to know from the exams point of view, especially, that is the nilgai, sambar, black buck and the wild boar from this particular region. So these have come in the examination, so one has to know about these things. And as far as the bird species are concerned, there are nearly 366 bird species there, and this is the nesting ground for many migratory species which come in the winter in this particular area. The next one is the Siberian crane. So Siberian crane, it has come as question in many preliminary examination, and it is one of the critical endangered species what we have in India. And as far as the migratory birds are concerned, there are many migratory birds. These come outside India or from the Central Asian region or from the Middle East region or from the Russian region, and even that is intra-country. So even some of the birds get migrated to these particular regions. Next important and very significant Himalayan sites what we have, that is the Western Ghats. So Western Ghats, as we all know, this runs along the western coast from south to north or north to south. If you can see the elevation in the south, we have higher elevations. When it comes to the north, it becomes lower in altitude, and even the width of these Western Ghats gets narrowed. So these are broad in the south region, and there is a higher elevation. When it comes to the northern, even the elevation and the broadness of the Western Ghats get narrowed. Then it is on the west edge of the Deccan Plateau. If you want to see the geological aspects, these are on the west edge of the Deccan Plateau, and it has stretched for 1,60,000 square kilometer. So that has spread across 1,600 kilometer from north to south, and from west to east around 100 kilometers, and the average elevation what we have, this is 1,200 meter, and there are 39 areas in these Western Ghats which are known as the World Heritage Sites. So if you take the culmination or the aggregation of these sites, then only we name them as the Western Ghats. And the World Heritage Site was designated in year 2012, and especially in this region we have many tiger reserves, and also there are many important national parks, and also this region is one of the world's hottest hotspot what we have across the world. And species, there are 325 species of flora and fauna, including the threatened species, and 13 out of the 16 mammals, the endemic mammals what we find here, they are threatened. Then there are 32 threatened species in this particular region. So here, whatever the species that we have mentioned, maybe it is the civet or macaque or the Nilgiri Thar, Bengal tiger, elephants, leopard, or the Nilgiri langur. So all of them become important for our examination. So anyways, we will be covering few of these species under our current affairs, that is the species which are in news, and you need to know about other things also as a static preparation. When it comes to the bird population here, so we find 16 species of endemic birds here. So you need to know about few of these birds, but as far as the number of these birds is concerned, it is very huge in number. So just you need to know superficially about these birds. Then as far as the vegetation is concerned, we can find the tropical, subtropical, moist broadleaf forest here. So especially when it comes to the broadleaf forest, we can find many species as far as the foliage, that is the wild or the broad leaf foliage is concerned. And also we can see the mixture of tropical and the subtropical moist ecosystems here, and moist deciduous, dry deciduous, mountain rainforest, and even the mountain grasslands we can find in these particular things. So very important as far as the forests of this region is concerned, especially the rainforest, then the moist deciduous, then the dry deciduous, and the mountain grasslands. And it is one of the world's 10 hottest biodiversity hotspot. And as far as the hotspot is concerned, you know the criteria for that. One is with respect to the vascular species what we have, and also their status as far as the threat that they pursue. So two important thing, that is the vascular in nature, and second one is the threat perception. And lion-tailed macaque is a flag species of this particular region, and there are nearly 4,000 to 5,000 plant species in this region, and among them 650 are the tree species what we have. So as far as the floral biodiversity is concerned and the faunal biodiversity is concerned, this becomes very important region to know, and it is one of the hottest biodiversity hotspot. The next and the final heritage site is the Khangchendzonga National Park. Khangchendzonga National Park, it is designated as a mixed heritage site for the ecological and the cultural importance. And as far as the cultural importance of this site is concerned, already this has been done under our cultural heritage sites, and today or in this particular slide, I will be discussing only with respect to the natural heritage part of this Khangchendzonga National Park. And this is located in the north and west Sikkim, that is the northwest Sikkim. It is situated in, and it is part of Himalayas, and even the Khangchendzonga peak is part of this particular national park. And it includes that peak, as I told, and it is part of the MAP program. It is one of the important sites of this MAP or the bio reserves, and it is the mix, and it is the first mixed heritage site in India. And as far as the vegetation is concerned, we can see right from the broadleaf forest to even the alpine forest here. And important species of this broadleaf forest is oaks, fir, birch, and the willow. So these are the important species what we have to know. And even we can see the alpine grasses here because of the elevation what we have, or the altitude what we have, and we can see the alpine grasses. And as far as the medicinal plants and herbs are concerned, we can get plenty of these medicinal plants here. And as far as some of the confluence of the ecosystems are concerned, we can see some of the ecoclines here. It is the important example for the ecoclines what we have in India, especially from subtropic region or the subtropic ecosystem to the Arctic ecosystem. We can see a natural gradient in this particular region. We cannot see particular demarcation as far as the division between these two ecosystems or the biomes are concerned. So there is a ecocline. There are range of ecoclines in this region. Then other important things, that is the species in this one. So as we know, or as we have marked under Himalayan valley or the Nanda Devi. So we can see similar species here, that is musk deer, snow leopard, Himalayan thar, wild dog. Then other important things are the black bear and the red panda we see. So these become important for the examination. Asiatic wild dog, this is the important species of this region, and it is very rare in this particular area. Then as far as the bird species is concerned, there are 550 bird species, and among them these are the important species what we have. And as far as the number of these birds is concerned, it is very difficult to remember, but few of the important things are the bird species which are there in the news. You can note them down and read about them. So these were the important things about the bird species. And one important bird that we have, that is the Himalayan forest thrush, and it has been found in 2016. This was located in this particular region, so even this may come as a question. So it is better to make 5 minutes research on this particular bird, that is Himalayan forest thrush. So we dealt with 8 different sites, 7 natural heritage site and 1 mixed heritage site. And in the next videos, we'll be dealing with the species, especially the species which are in names. So until then, read well, revise well, and practice the papers well. Thank you very much.